What do you do if you are a background actor working on a project and there's an issue with your compensation? For example, maybe you haven't been paid the correct rate, you're missing overtime from your paycheck, or your property was damaged or stolen on set. Well, if the production company refuses to address the issue, you file a claim inquiry. How do you file a claim inquiry? We're going to tell you. Hello and welcome. I'm SAG-AFTRA Executive Vice President Ben Whitehair. Thank you all for joining us for another SAG-AFTRA program on YouTube. We are joined today by American Sign Language interpreters Joe Rivera and Courtney Nimmershib. How to file a claim inquiry for unpaid wages, on-set violations, and unpaid compensation for property damaged or lost on set is a hot topic that many of our members in the background community have been asking us to address for a while, and today we're going to walk you through that process. To help us guide through the procedure, we have enlisted SAG-AFTRA National Director, Background and New York Entertainment Contracts, Stephanie Perry. Before assuming her current role, Stephanie supported members for nearly 2 decades through several positions at SAG and then SAG-AFTRA as a business rep, manager, director, and senior director of entertainment contracts, where she oversaw the administration and enforcement of all entertainment agreements. Before her service at the union, Stephanie held legal business affairs and contract roles at various entertainment conglomerates, such as 4Kids Entertainment and Marvel Inc. Stephanie, thank you for being with us here again today. Are you ready to help our members navigate the process of filing a claim for any unpaid contractual compensation that they are owed?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ben. And so, yes, I'm here today to take you through getting paid as a background actor and how to navigate the claim inquiry process. And I do want to note that this is for TV theatrical contracts. So the number one question that we often get for our members is, why would I, as a background actor, need to file a claim inquiry form? Well, as a professional performer, we know that our members are focused on performing their craft and being the absolute best at it while at set. That being said, one of the many benefits that SAG-AFTRA provides to its members is specifically in the area of contract enforcement. The contract staff is here to service our members at times when they have discovered, or if they have any questions about not being paid the applicable minimum union wage. Maybe you haven't received wardrobe allowances owed to you, or meal penalties, holiday pay. Perhaps you have a question about whether or not a 16-hour rule violation is owed to you for working in excess of 16 hours. Perhaps you did work, you did receive your voucher, but unfortunately you were not paid in time and you feel that it's been several weeks. Perhaps your property was damaged on set, or your items were lost or stolen. Or maybe you have a question about whether or not your performance as a background actor qualifies for an upgrade under the theatrical or television agreement. These are some of the many reasons why you would want to contact the contracts department and fill out a claim inquiry form. One of the other things that we always like our members to know, that there's such a thing as called timeliness. And we often have heard from our members, what exactly does timeliness mean? So this essentially means that there is a specific amount of time that a background actor has to make a claim inquiry against the employer that they're owed monies that they weren't paid under the contract. An example of something would be damage to your loss or your wardrobe or property. Those types of claims actually have to be filed before the background actor leaves set. So what does the background actor do when you're on set and you've noticed that perhaps your property, you were hired with your vehicle, it's been damaged, maybe you lost an article of clothing? I would suggest that you would speak to an AD or a producer and ask them for the lost, damage, or stolen property form. They are obligated to have those forms on set, and they will give you one to complete. You will complete that with all the pertinent details, you'll sign it, and then you'll return it to the production, and they will also provide you with a copy of it. If you have any problems receiving a copy of the form that you completed, or perhaps you're hearing from a member of the production staff that it's not available, then I would certainly encourage you to give the union a call. Other claims besides property damage either have a 30-day statute of limitations to file for it, and if it's an upgrade claim, it has 90 days. So that's always important to keep that in mind. It's 30 for pretty much all background claims, 90 days if it's in connection with an upgrade, and as we just talked about previously, if it's regarding damaged property or lost items, then that has to be done on set before you are wrapped. So another question that we often get is, okay, I understand that there's a 30-day clock for my claim, but when does that 30 days actually start running? So that is will be what we would call the date of knowledge. And that is typically when you become aware of all the particulars giving rise of that potential violation. And that's either one of the two things. One, the day that you worked, or the date that you receive your salary check. If you're ever unsure about the date of knowledge, I would certainly encourage you to contact the union. We're happy to speak with you and give you some insight regarding that. So another question that we often get is, where exactly do I get the claim inquiry form? You would actually go to our website, www.SAGAFTRA.org, and you would click on Contract Industry and Resources. When you do that, you're going to see basically background actors, and that is a page that's devoted solely to background actors. You would then want to click on that, and that will then take you to the Contact Us page, where you will now see the hyperlink for filling out a claim inquiry form. You would then click on that, and that would then open up the fillable PDF claim inquiry form. You're able to type right onto this form, save it, and then email it to backgroundactorsclaims@SAGAFTRA.org. But it's not just completing that one little form. There's a couple of other pieces that we also need to go along with that. And we're going to talk about that next. And this is what you should definitely keep in mind when completing this form. Please do give us your professional and your legal name, your SAG-AFTRA ID, the type of production that it is, and as many specifics as possible regarding the claim. This could basically be what type of scene you were in. What was the wardrobe or costume that you were wearing? How many takes? Anything that is really specific, in connection to the inquiry, those details help us. As far as supporting documentation, when you submit your claim, you always want to submit your voucher, your pay stub, a postmarked check envelope, any booking or wardrobe email or text messages, any screenshots of any information that, again, is particular to the employment that you've been booked for. All of those information really should be legible. That's really important that the assigned business rep is able to see it. And then from there, you would email it in, and we would have a copy of your claim inquiry form along with all of the supporting documentation. A business rep is assigned to each production, and the business rep assigned here will be responsible for the review and the evaluation of your claim. If there are any questions or any follow-ups, you can expect the business rep to do some much needed outreach. If you have any questions about this process, filling out a claim inquiry form, we're always available here. You can always email us at backgroundactorsinfo@sagaftra.org.
Fantastic. Stephanie, have a couple questions. Super helpful presentation. These are questions from members who've navigated these issues. Is there a minimum amount of time I have to wait in order to file a claim inquiry?
There has not been, and actually, I would really encourage our members to come to the union as soon as possible. As soon as you think or you have a question, we're always open to having conversation with our members, and we would love to be able to assist you as soon as possible and then decide on what the direct course of action should be.
Great. Next question. Can I wait until the episode airs or the film is released to file an upgrade claim?
That's a great question, Ben, and no. It is unfortunate that there's a lot of misinformation floating out in our industry that actually tells background actors that you should wait until the episode airs or the theatrical film is exhibited in theaters to determine if you have a viable upgrade claim. That is something that as soon as you work on your day on set and you have a feeling or maybe just a question of whether or not this is an upgrade, again, we would strongly encourage you to contact the union at that time.
Got it. Earlier is better. Next question from a member. Can I file a claim on behalf of another member?
Members actually, as a claimant, need to be able to file the claim on their behalf. And there's so many reasons why that is so critical, Ben. We need so many specific pertinent details, and we often find that it's the claimant itself who actually experienced the potential infraction, who's the best person to give us those specific details. Unfortunately, while the intention may be well placed to help a fellow member out, there are sometimes specifics that they just may not know. So we would need that actual member as the claimant to file the claim inquiry form.
Okay, got it. This question is, if I know that other members have filed a claim, should I do so too if I'm affected? Basically, if other members have filed the claim, do I need to worry about it myself, or should I just leave it?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked that, Ben. And yes, absolutely. You should always contact your union. That being said, I had said earlier in the presentation, we have many members who have a stage name. And often when you sign your voucher, it reflects your legal name, but we may not in the contracts department be aware of your current stage name that you're using. Each claim can be very individualized with a specific set of circumstances. And we find that it's always best, again, to be able to talk directly to our members or to the claimant to get all of those particulars. So yes, if it's something of a nature that has affected many performers that you were working on set, it's absolutely always beneficial and valuable for the claimant to reach out to the union and still file that claim inquiry form so we know who you are.
Got it. Should I keep copies of vouchers, pay stubs, postmarked envelopes, etc.?
Absolutely, Ben. These are your records, just like we would in, all types of matters of day-to-day, handling. You keep your records for a certain number of times. And there may be things that, as we talked about in the various statute of limitations, maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 90 days. So it's never really a good idea to open up, your salary check and just toss out in the trash the postmark envelope. I would advise that you keep it. That way, you have a period of time where you can compare your voucher against your pay stub. And if you notice that something isn't there that should be or simply not correct, you have all of that relevant documentation to share with the union. Got
it. Take pictures of it. Also, I imagine is a way to do that. If you've got pictures, that's also helpful to keep track of those things.
Absolutely, Ben. And, I've often have been fascinated by the background community and their commitment to taking meticulous notes, pictures. Some have calendars, ledgers that they keep. I have seen people organize electronic folders where they're organized by production, by date, and all of those things are helpful and will certainly serve you well if you find yourself in need of filing a claim inquiry form.
Yeah. I wish all of our members would get in the habits that I think a lot of our background performers are in really good habit around, of keeping track of these things, keeping track of those records, taking pictures of the forms. It really is for any member, whether you're working as a background performer or otherwise, keep track of the paperwork, take pictures of your Exhibit G, of the pay stubs, of all of those things. There's no harm and only positive things. Hopefully you won't need it, but if you do, makes everything so much easier.
I couldn't agree more. It's right at your
Yeah.
fingertips, having just great, easy record keeping.
Yeah. Last question. What should a member do if they are threatened for asking for the correct compensation by the production company or told that they're not entitled to any further monies under the agreement?
Yeah. We take matters like that very, very seriously, and where we certainly do want a culture on set to exist where our members do feel comfortable approaching the ADs, the UPMs, those in charge on the set, and amicably discussing any potential issues and trying to seek resolution. However, the moment that it turns adversarial or hostile, that's what we're here for. Absolutely seek out a field representative if they're present on set to assist you. And if not, absolutely call the office, ask for the business representative assigned, and we will certainly then intervene and assist.
What I'm taking away from all of this is, our union reps, staff, the teams are there to help and are able to support with, pretty much any scenario, but they can only do that if they know what's going on. So, being willing to speak up and just as a reminder, Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, but members can always, if there's something where you just want to make sure the union is aware, they can report things anonymously. Obviously, filing claims is a very specific thing for performers, but any other information you have around how staff treats the sensitive nature of some of these issues. I know performers are often concerned about reaching out, for various reasons. So can you just tell us a little bit more about how staff treats those kinds of scenarios?
Of course, Ben. The contract staff were very, very interested in our members and particularly our background actors community. And you're absolutely right. There may be things sometime that may not necessarily be a breach of the collective bargaining agreement, but maybe it is an issue that we need to address. And we want to be able to assist and help, but we do need to know about it. We rely on our members. They're our eyes and ears. And as things evolve and change in their workplace, we want to know. And then we're also able to, again, get involved and actually affect change in the workplace once we know what are the new developments that our background actors community are experiencing.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. And to all of the members and background performers watching, hopefully this has been supportive. So grateful for the work that you do to make our union better, and certainly, the films and television and commercials and all the other projects that couldn't happen without you. So hopefully this has been supportive in making sure that you get the full benefits of the union contracts that you're working under. As a reminder to everyone watching, this presentation is available as a replay on our YouTube channel. So if you have a question in the future, like, what was it that Stephanie said? How do I do that? Have a look. If you're with fellow performers, background performers on set that have these questions, you can send them the link. And that way you don't have to walk them through the process yourself. You can send them the link so that they can be empowered to take action. And on behalf of the whole team here at SAG-AFTRA, thank you so much for watching. And as always, a special thanks to our regular viewers who tune in each week for our educational live streams. If you have ideas for topics you want to see us cover, the way that this one came to be, please email us at pteoe@sagaftra.org. And before we go, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the SAG-AFTRA YouTube channel here to get updates on all of the content that we are publishing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.